Hi guys, it's Lynn here. Hope everybody's having an amazing day. Now this is part 3 of our cacti and succulent and houseplant update. Part 1 was my cacti and succulent polytunnel collection. Part 2 was the little greenhouse and the yard cacti and succulent and plant collection. And this is our houseplant collection. Now, if you haven't seen part 1 and part 2 of the polytunnel cacti and succulent collection, to show you the polytunnel out there in our yard, that's where we keep all of the majority of our cacti and succulents. Do go and check that video out. Links will be up above now, up the little information sign at the top, and also links down below in the about section of this video. So do watch that. That's a whole complete tour of the cacti and succulents in the polytunnel, and also the yard. Out the yard we have a lot of cacti and succulents also out in our yard, and also we have a little greenhouse as well as the polytunnel that we have some of our seedlings in, and also some of the tall serious cacti. Do check that video out also. Links up above and also down below in the about section of this video. And as I said, this is part 3, and this is the houseplant, mostly houseplant collection and our indoor plant collection. We have cacti and succulents also indoors here, and a lot of houseplants. So this is, here we go. I'm going to start off first of all with the upstairs, and then I'm going to finish off with the downstairs. I normally do it the other way around. But I'm starting off this time. This is grow room number 1, and also it's my office. Lovely for me to work surrounded with all these beautiful plants. And in the winter, this is where we overwinter a lot of plants on here. We have grow lights that come on in the winter to give extra light to the plants, as you can see over there. But we don't need it now. It's summer. Plenty of light and plenty of sun. And we start off here with the lovely nicknamed the rubber plant. It's a ficus elastica, and beautiful plant here. This has recently been repotted. Hans did a repot of that, and it's absolutely healthy as anything. Lots of new leaves coming on it. Beautiful plant. I've had this for many years, about 10 years now, and seems to be doing very well. And this is my old Schlumbergera truncata, commonly known as Christmas or Thanksgiving cactus. This is my old favourite. Possibly, this plant is possibly 60, even possibly 70 years old. I've told the story behind this cactus many times, so I'm not going to take too long to explain it again. But basically, this was gifted to me by a friend of mine when he used to live in Sligo on the west coast of Ireland, and he'd had it for 25 years. He also got it from the lady who'd had it 25 years previously, and then when she bought the plant, it was already more or less fully mature. So, you know, 25 and 25 is 50. I've had this plant now probably about 12 years. I think it is, possibly 10, possibly 12 years now, I think. And so that brings it up to 60. And if it was big enough before, you could do 70 plus years. Lovely woody stem to it, and it flowers every year for me, an abundance of flowers. It flowered not only around the Christmas time, but also it flowered not too long ago as well, around the April-May time. As you can see, it has recently been flowering. Lots of seed pods. I pollinated the flowers. I like to pollinate things to get seeds, just because I like growing from seed. And look at that, the seed pods are lovely pink and juicy. And yes, the fruit is edible, but I'm not going to be eating these. I'm going to be harvesting the seed from these and gifting the seed away to people. I know I've got a few people wanting seeds from this special plant, and I have actually sowed seeds from this lovely cactus before last year, and these are its babies from the seed. So it's very special. Look at the little cute little seedlings. You can see the little pads on them, the little hairs on them. Aren't they gorgeous? They're all little individual little plants, all grown from seed, from a juicy seed pod that I pollinated the flower myself, and sowed the seed from this mother plant there. So great fun to do, and she is doing very well. She's sending out a lot of new little shoots, as you can see, new little leaves there. Very good. And I've got a lot of my other sort of epiphytic cacti hanging out in the yard on the hanging basket rails, and some also out in the yard on the floor. As I say, I included more details on that on my video before this, the one with the yard update and the little greenhouse update. And here we have some chlorophytums, a mixture of a few different types there. As I say, I've also got chlorophytums outside in the yard, out the front yard. I'm not going to include that because my partner Hans does a lot lot of the yard updates on his channel, so do check that out. Family of Cacti and Other Beauties. Links up above to his yard update video as well, and he does the front garden. Got chlorophytums up in a hanging basket in the front garden now. We move them out there. And here is a Hoya Carlos, and you wait till you see this, guys. This is Hans's Hoya that he had brought over from Sweden. He's had this plant many years, never ever flowered for him when he lived in Sweden. Moved here to Ireland, and look at that, guys. Wow, look at them blooms. And this plant has been flowering, I would say, since February. Bear in mind, it's now July. And it has just been flowering constantly. As soon as one big bundle of flowers drops, more form, it is just abundant. What's quite amazing, I'll just show you these, be careful not to knock them off. That's what the flowers look like, the buds look like, I should say, before they're fully open there. They're all very wax-like, and then when they open, just look at that. Oh my gosh. It's just so many at the top, and if you could smell them, guys, I'm not kidding you, it's hard to explain the smell, but it's a little bit like neroli, or sort of like linden blossom as well, ever so beautiful. Oh, it's just incredible, and it grows all along a vine all along the window here on the right hand side. It gets a little bit of sun from the side rather than full on sun, which it seems to really like. Thriving there. And I have another Hoya here. This is a Hoya. The Heart's Hoya Kerry, and this has also been flowering for me, absolutely beautiful up until recently. The flowers on these Hoya Kerries are much tinier, but they're very similar, very small, bunches of beautiful blooms, but they're mainly grown for the foliage because they're heart-shaped. Lovely there, look at that, they actually do grow with hearts, and this is a lovely mature plant there. It's been sending out lots of new shoots from the top, doing very well. And I have one of the single heart Hoyas as well, which I'm not a fan of because they're sold as a bit of a gimmick, and a lot of them don't live long term. This one, thankfully, has been living over a year, and when I repotted it, it's got a great root system on it, so fingers crossed, but they don't tend to do that well long term because they sort of sold just to sell for usually the Valentine's Day market, and they haven't got enough of the roots, the stem that they need to live long term to propagate. But fingers crossed, it will do okay. But I've got a mature plant anyway here, and she's just beautiful, doing very well. In the window, we have a selection of a lot of epiphytic cacti, some Piniocereus here, which are sort of similar to like the Hylocereus and the dragon fruity type of ones. Hylocereus dragon fruit in the window there, some seedlings there. Another Hylocereus dragon fruit. These are also Piniocereus gregii seedlings that are grown myself from seed. These are from seed from Arizona, from my friend there who gifted me some seeds a few years ago now. They're struggling a little bit, these Piniocereus, but they're still going, they're okay. Here we have some Schlumbergera lutea, not a commonly seen Schlumbergera, commonly known as Christmas Thanksgiving cactus. Not commonly seen in cultivation, but I have 3 here on the go. These are they're related. They're the same as the Schlumbergera here, the more commonly seen one. But this is a very special form. It has tiny little leaves, like curly little leaf segments. So it's a very special type of Schlumbergera. Very, very lovely there. And here is another Schlumbergera, a puntioids, again related to Christmas cactus, Thanksgiving cactus. You would think by looking at it, it was just an Opuntia cactus, commonly known as the prickly pear, the cactus, but it is 100% related to Schlumbergera, the Christmas cactus, and because it does resemble in appearance only an Opuntia cactus, that's why it's nicknamed Schlumbergera puntioids. But this is doing very well. Probably going to repot this in the next couple of weeks or so because I think it needs a little bit of a freshen up with the soil. But other than that, it's doing very good. Here I have some, again this is some Ripsalis here. And here is Ripsalidopsis rosea, commonly known as the miniature Easter cactus. This is really beautiful, and these are all cuttings taken from this one plant here. This was a rescue that my friend at my horticultural college gave me to see if I could save it. And I'm happy to say I was able to save it, just taking the dead leaves off while I can see here. And what I did, because this is the remainder of the plant, I actually took a load of cuttings because it was not doing well. As you can see, they're sort of rotting from the base, and this part was in good form, so I kept that as it was. I am going to be repotting this obviously, but as it's still in recovery mode, I'm sort of leaving it as it is at the moment. It's doing okay. But these are all the cuttings I've taken from it. Rooted them all in water. Fantastic how they've really come on. Very, very good. And a lot of them sort of flowered this year as well. I may possibly put all these up back with the main plant here, all into a new pot and keep it all together. Not quite sure what to do yet, but I think I'm going to do that. But they're absolutely recovering fantastically. And this one here is one of the string of hearts plants. This is a Ceropagia woodii, but this is the variegated form. And this was gifted to us from George and Francisco. So thank you so much, George. It is doing very, very well. And this is just lovely. And George and Francisco have a channel called Treasures of Plants. So do check them out also here on YouTube. Very good, really healthy rooting cutting here. Doing very well. This is a lovely, big, beautiful begonia. And this was all given to me by Rachel at Garnet Duenza. And it is one of them lovely, it's called Begonia Sizemore. And it is the one that has lovely sort of hairs on the leaves. Oh my God, it's gorgeous, guys. I just can't stop stroking it. It is so lovely. It really is beautiful. Just look at that hair. It's just like human hair. It is beautiful. And here we have some Tradescantia cuttings. Now these are actually gifted to me, if you can call it gifted, from my horticultural college where I do horticulture. And they're cuttings. We did a class where we were pruning houseplants. And Claire, my teacher, she said, you know, if you want to take some cuttings, go ahead and take them. So, well, I actually asked her, I said, can I take them cuttings if they're going in the bin? She went, oh, yes, yes. So I rooted these in water and I've potted them up. And this is a lovely sort of Tradescantia because it's variegated and it's got lovely sort of pink to the little leaves. Beautiful. And this one here was actually a cutting that I got from my friend who loves Tradescantias as well. Lovely, this is, I'm trying to think the name of this one. It's a zebra one, yeah, Tradescantia zebra. Beautiful. It's another Tradescantia. Again, this was from my college too, when we were pruning the plants, and I took some cuttings rooted in water there. And here's a Ceropagia. Not quite sure of the type here. This is another one here, and again from George and Francisco. And here are some more chlorophytums. Now here on this tray here, these are Selenicerius grandiflorus cacti. And this was originally one big plant, like a big long snake. And it's Hansi's, and he had to cut it down into sections because he was moving from Sweden to Ireland. And because of that, he had to cut it back. He had to completely repropagate it all from cuttings. So this is all originally one big plant. It flowered for him in Sweden. Beautiful big flowers. This cactus is commonly known as one of the Queen of the Night cacti because they're huge, big white blooms, and mainly because they only really flower for one night. So that's why they call it Queen of the Night. And it's one of the one night stand cacti. It's just one night only. But it is a lovely cactus in itself. Hasn't flowered for us yet, but maybe it's possibly because it is spending most of its energy put into the root system. Hopefully in time it will send out flowers. But the cactus is lovely in itself anyway. And so we have a few Selenicerius is also in the polytunnel, and a few of the other sort of epiphytic ones too. They're sort of semi-epiphytic. In other words, they like more moisture and humidity than desert cacti, but they don't like as much moisture and humidity as perhaps some of the epiphyllum type of plants. So a bit of in between. Here we have some little chlorophytums that were gifted to me by a lovely subscriber called Alison and her lovely children, Emily, Reese and Flynn. And there's 3 different types here. This one will be the chlorophytum. Can't remember which one this is now, but this one is the bonny one that has the curly leaves. So that's very exciting because I've been after one of these for ages. It's the only ones I haven't got. Got a lot of chlorophytums. Got the all green one. Got the stripe on the outside, stripe on the inside, the 2 stripes, all the different types, but I haven't got the bonny one. So thank you, Alison, doing very, very well. And I haven't forgotten about potting up her beautiful children. Emily recently made 2 little pots for me to pot up some little seedlings in. I haven't just been so busy, I haven't got around to doing it. But guys, if you're watching this video, I haven't forgotten. Stay tuned, it will be coming up soon. And then we've got the orchids here. Lovely orchids here, which a selection of different ones. I've got dendrobiums, and I've got epidendrum, and the common phalaenopsis, loads with little babies here. All the caecis, as they call them, doing very well. And lovely to see here. And then look at this, guys. This is a Miltonia, or Miltoniopsis. Some people say Miltoniopsis, some people say Miltonia. And this is sort of coming to the end of its flowering now. I did a video at the time when it was in magnificent bloom, and it has been flowering for absolutely weeks. Still beautiful, as you can see, but it's starting to go a little bit now, but still very, very, very beautiful. And they seem to like this spot. There's a dendrobium there, the white flower. They seem to be happy in this position because this is a south facing window, but as you can see, the window ends there, and this is more wall, and they're a little bit off towards the window, so they're more sort of indirect sunshine. They do get a little bit of sun coming across, but it is more indirect, and they seem very happy like that. When I had them closer to the window with the sun, they went a little bit pale. So this is only my experience. I'm not an expert on orchids. Mine's more cacti and succulents, and I'm still new to them, but they seem to be happy like that. So far so good. So that's grow room number 1, and now I'm going to take you into I'm going to take you into the bedroom and show you the ferns. Now this is our little bedroom where we have a collection of Nephrolepis ferns, commonly known as the Boston fern. And we have a few different types in our collection here. This is our big, lovely big Nephrolepis exaltata, big Boston fern there. Absolutely beautiful. And we have this sitting on top of a beautiful planter there that was Hans's. It's a family heirloom. Very beautiful there from Hans's family in Sweden. So it's probably over 100 years old. Look at that with the lovely birds on it and everything. Isn't it gorgeous? Has little feet on it as well. And this is just perfect for this Nephrolepis here. Absolutely flourishing. And we have a little grow light that we put on if we needed to in the winter. But as I say, now it's summer here. It gets plenty of light there. And this bedroom is more or less north facing. It gets a tiny bit of sun in the mornings and sometimes a little bit of an evening. But other than that, it's pretty much just very bright light, which ferns do prefer. And sometimes when they get sun, they can go a little bit yellow and scorched. So this lighting seems to be very, very good with these. And just show you how you know when a fern is fertile and what makes them ferns here. This is of the little spores that when a fern is fertile, they have these little spores underneath there, and these spores naturally sort of fall down when they're out in their natural habitats and form into little ferns, quite different to seeds with normal plants. Very very sort of old and prehistoric, if that's a word to use. Really, ferns are very sort of one of the very original old very early plants. So that's our little bedroom display of Nephrolepis ferns, and now I'm going to show you into our second grow room number 2. Now this is our grow room number 2. It's also Hans's music studio where he does a lot of his compositions. He's got his guitars here and his keyboards, and it means we've also got a lovely spare room here, window I should say, for growing plants. We have a grow light there that we have on usually during the winter if we want growing seedlings and provide a bit of extra light for the plants. But as I say, it's summer now, we don't need to worry. Lots of empty tray space because obviously in the winter this is packed with all the plants we overwinter. But we just got a few that we keep here in this window at the moment. We have a few underbags there being propagated. And this one here, this is a lovely string of hearts, Ceropagia woodii. This is a beautiful one here that was gifted to us as a cut-in from George and Francisco. So this is absolutely wonderful. So thank you, George. It is doing very, very well there. And here we have a lovely little pineapple plant that's taking root there. And some more selection of a few different plants here. Here is a Dracaena there. One is a variegated one, and this one is the all green one. And here, this is a bit of a few little plants we've been propagating there. The spider plant chlorophytums, and these we've been propagating from our own little plant here. This is the Shufflera, the variegated form. And some more Tradescantias here, different types. And Coleus there. More Tradescantias. Here's this lovely variegated one. Isn't that gorgeous? This lovely variegation form. Really beautiful. This was gifted to us as a cut-in, and it is really lovely. And this will probably make a lovely hanging basket over time. We've got this here at the moment. Probably pop that up into a bit of a hanging basket for the winter. It's absolutely beautiful. And here's some more Tradescantias. These were gifted to us cut-ins from Olga, from Olga's Dreamland. So very lovely there. So thank you, Olga. And here's some more Dracaenas here. And these are some little puncture cuttings there we've got going on. Here we've got some Schlumberger puntioids. That's part of the believe it or not, these are actually part of the Christmas cactus Schlumberger family. The puntioids, quite different in the sense that they actually do resemble more like an Opuntia cactus than actually a Christmas cactus, but they are actually Schlumberger. Or Schlumberger, some people say both. And that's grow room number 2. Now here's our little bathroom, and we have a selection of tillandsias, commonly known as the air plants, here in our bathroom. This window is a frosted covered glass. It's a south facing window, but because it's frosted it doesn't get in strong intense sun, so we have a lot of the plants in here that like a lot of sun, and which tillandsias do like bright light and a bit of sunshine, but it's sheltered a little bit as well from the strong sun. And we have a bit of a moss pole up here with a selection of different tillandsias all growing on them, and they're doing very well. And I've got to show you this, guys. This is a little piece of Spanish moss, and it has a little green, gorgeous little green flower on it today. Spanish moss, most people don't even know it flowers. When I was telling everybody, oh, it's in flower, like, what, does it flower? It does, a beautiful little green flower. And we have a few different types of Spanish moss in our collection. We have a few more downstairs in our kitchen, which I'm going to show you later. I'm going to go downstairs. And they flower little tiny white flowers. A couple of them have white flowers and the other one has a cream coloured tiny little flower. All this size, same shape, cream and white. But this one is like a green colour, almost like a lime green. Really happy to see. It's different to the other ones. And it's just pretty. And the flower's looking just right at you, look. Isn't that beautiful? And so that's the Spanish moss. We have this hanging off one of our other tillandsias here. And this moss pole, we have a selection of different ones. As I said, this flower here, absolutely gorgeous here. This tillandsia has been flowering for absolutely weeks now. Look at the colours on the flower, guys. Beautiful colours of purple, pink and lime green at the end. It's really gorgeous. Yellow, pink, green and purple. Beautiful colours. And this is just incredible. Beautiful. And there are just so many different varieties, as you can see there, doing very, very, very well. A selection of many. This is one of a very big, almost grass-like big tillandsia air plant there that we have in the vase. And this is other tillandsias. These ones are potted up in soil because they're different to the complete air plants that can just grow completely in air. And we just spray these a bit of water, a tiny bit of water, rainwater, every now and then here. That's been flowering as well for ages. And this is our big Xerographica, Tillandsia xerographica. This plant is like a big octopus, an amazing air plant, and it has lovely sort of roots coming off it as well. As I said, they don't have roots because they take up water from soil. They take moisture from the air, and they actually absorb the moisture through they're called trizomes, which are the little white sort of appearance on these plants. So when I thoroughly soak these with rainwater, which I do every single day, so the rainwater completely pours and runs down this moss pole, so the plants are all completely soaked. They absorb the water and they drink it up through the trizomes, the cells on their plant leaves. They don't do it through the roots, although the roots do act a little bit like aerial roots as well. They use the roots just to support in their natural habitats. But the Xerographica is quite amazing. It has grown so well, and we, as I say, every morning, there's another one here, up here, every morning and sometimes of an evening. At the moment it's very warm weather and dry, so we've been thoroughly soaking them with tons and tons of rainwater, so it just drips down, and then within about 10 minutes they're all dry again. They've absorbed all that water. And that's tillandsias, the air plants, they love moisture, and I fertilise them once a month, sometimes twice a month, with a special tillandsia air plant fertiliser. Don't use normal fertilisers because they can't take copper-based fertilisers. And they do very, very well then, as long as you're using a special fertiliser for tillandsias. And rainwater, because tap water contains chemicals and chlorine. It can block the trizomes, which is what they breathe, and take the moisture and the nourishment. They take the moisture from the air, so they take their nutrients from the air. Good at the moment because the weather's good, got the window open there, so taking all that fresh moisture from the natural air outside. And that's our bathroom, and that's our tillandsia collection, guys. Now guys, we're downstairs. I'm going to start with the kitchen down here and then I'm going to finish off with the living room. And as you can see, we have a lot of plants in our kitchen. We don't really use this for preparing food like we really should be. Even the draining board is filled with plants. But we start off here with the most amazing, this is an Aloe Cassia, beautiful, beautiful plant here that Olga from Olga's Dreamland gifted us. And when she gifted us this beautiful plant, it was just a tuber with one little leaf on. And we planted it up. The leaf went yellow and died back. But the tuber sprouted out loads of new growth. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable. This is the part of the original tuber here, and it was like that when we got it. And this is all the new growth here. And it's a beautiful plant. And we've recently repotted it, and I have filmed a video when I repotted this, so do stay tuned for that video coming up soon. I've got a few repotting videos. I've been potting up a load of plants, and that's going to be quite funny to watch them videos there. But as I say, this is beautiful. This was up in my office up until the other day when I decided to repot it, and I just think it looks really at home there. Gets loads of light coming in from the window. It's a south facing window, but it doesn't get full like intense sun where it is there. It just gets sun coming across, so it's an ideal spot for this because it does like a bit more shade. And then I have some Scheffleras here. These are my 2 old Scheffleras that have been with me for a very long time. Long time. They've travelled with me, and they've been cut back, as I say, upstairs. I showed you some of the Scheffleras that we had potted up. That's where we pruned them back, or Hans pruned them back, I say, when we moved house a couple of years ago. And this is all the new growth, so they're doing very, very well. This original plant was massive up to the ceiling, and we took cuttings and pruned it back, and it's really bushed out, done really well. And then here we have an amazing Begonia picta, and look at that, guys. Not only the leaves beautiful and spotty. I mean, this is the whole plant here. It's one big cane of a plant there. But look at the blooms. It's absolutely abundant. Beautiful, beautiful peachy coloured blooms. Really, really stunning. Very, very beautiful plant. All down there, look. It is beautiful. This actually came from a cutting. A friend gave us a cutting. It was about that size. And this is all in the past year and a half. It is remarkable. I mean, just look at that. The plant itself is really beautiful with the spotty leaves, even when there's no flowers, but the flowers as well. And as I say, it grows. We've got it hooked up by a cane here, but the plant itself actually grows like a cane. How it grows with all the lovely leaves and flowers. It is huge. I'll just walk back so you can see the actual size of this. Show you whether difficult to say because I'm filming this to whether it really gives you any scale, but it is humongous. And then here is a clivia plant. This is beautiful, that was gifted to us from Olga, also at Olga's Dreamland, growing very well. This is my little pineapple plant here, and she's doing very well too. And then here I have a Euphorbia, and I have a Tillandsia air plant, which is called the Tillandsia cacticola. Nestling on top of that seems to be happy in that position there. And so look at all them blooms, guys, flipping heck. Isn't that just beautiful? This is all from that Begonia. It's just like hanging like little lanterns, so beautiful. And here we have a Dracaena here, the variegated form, doing very well there. And here we have one of their lucky bean plants. I think of the proper name of it. Actually, I have got it labelled Castor, yeah, Castanospernum, what a name. And so it grows a little bit like avocado would do. This is the bean it grows from, and then eventually this dies back and the plant carries on growing up. A bit difficult to show you in the window because these beautiful flowers are sort of covering a little bit what we've got, but we have got behind there a Euphorbia plant, a Euphorbia ferox. Might be able to see the top of it there. And then we have Euphorbia obesas, which are the cylindrical sort of round plants there, commonly known as the baseball plant because of its markings. And that is a Euphorbia Succulent. Very sort of often get mixed up with called a cactus when it's not. It is 100% just succulent. And that is really remarkable. Little tiny flowers are coming up on a lot of the top of them. As you can see there, the tiny little flowers. And some little bit selection in this window of mostly euphorbias. I'm going to show you the tillandsias in a minute. These are all euphorbias here, all different types, all different varieties. Euphorbia millii is there, 3 different types there. Euphorbia trigona, different types, and there's a massive genus here as well. Is lovely unusual euphorbia, lots of different ones there. This is also Euphorbia. This is Euphorbia globosa crossed with obesa, so Euphorbia obesa times globosa. some more. We have Ripsolidopsis rosea, and then we have a collection of Tillandsia air plants here. We just pop the air plants all around the place here, and what we do is give them a thorough soaking with rainwater every single day, and we soak it with proper soaking so that the water drips. As you can see, apologies for the disgustingly stained windows, I need to give them a good clean, because we spray them completely every day, these Tillandsias, so the water drips off them so they're thoroughly soaked. And that's the trick to do. Either that, will soak them in a bucket of rainwater a couple of times a week for up to 10 minutes to half an hour, but I prefer to give them all a good spray every morning. And as I say, selection of different types there. And Spanish moss, there's another Tillandsia there. Spanish moss, we have quite a few different types, as you can see there in the window. Apologies for the appalling light, because it's sort of not easiest. Hopefully you get an idea of what they look like there. And we've got some Tillandsias here, which we've got on driftwood that we found on our local beach here in Belfast. And more different types of Tillandsias, all growing really well. So the lighting is not the best, so I hope you can see what you can see there. And more different Tillandsias. I'm going to be making a care video on how to care for Tillandsia in the next couple of weeks. Well, as soon as I get a chance. So do stay tuned for that. I've got all these videos I need to make. I just haven't had a chance because I've been so busy with everything and the plants as well. And but anyway, I'm going to show you something very special in a minute. I'm going to save the best till last when it comes to Tillandsias. Here I have my Pilia peperomioids plant. Again, I've repotted that, made a video when I've repotted it, so stay tuned for that repotting video coming soon. This is more Begonia, Little Tiger. This is called Begonia Little Tiger, I think is a nickname of it. But it's also called the leprechaun plant. Not quite sure why it's called the leprechaun plant, but its proper name is Begonia Just check the name, begins with a B. Bowery, that's its proper name. But as I say, it's more commonly known as the little tiger begonia because of its little leaves. It's absolutely beautiful, little spotty, beautiful leaves. It's just gorgeous. I got two of these, and this was the original mother plant, and it dropped a leaf. We propagated the leaf, and this is the big baby that's took over the mother now. It's incredible. Again, this is Peperomia polypatria, very similar to Pilia peperomioids, but they are two different plants. But they're often sort of liked together because they are very similar. But this is the true Pilia peperomioids there that was gifted to us from our wonderful friend Nellie from Collection of Unseen Nature. It was gifted to us, a little plant like that, and it is growing really well. Now has its own little babies growing at the bottom too. Now here we have a Devaglia Fern, and this was a cutting that Hans got as a cutting from a friend. And the Devaglia Fern is commonly known as the rabbit's foot fern because of its lovely furry rhizomes. They are sort of roots, more like aerial roots, but they aren't roots as such. They're more classed as a rhizome, a furry rhizome. They take moisture from the air, and they also offer support for the fern as well, because epiphytic in nature normally be sort of hanging off trees and things. They use this for support and moisture. And we have another one in the living room, which I'm going to show you in a minute too. But isn't it just gorgeous? I can't stop stroking it. And then here we have I have a couple of bromeliads. Got a couple of bromeliads upstairs as well, which we showed you earlier. But this is a couple of Tillandsias growing on here too. We just leave there just to rest. And then I'm going to finish this off here. Before I go to the living room, I'm going to show you this. This is our Tillandsia. Not quite sure the exact type, but look at the flower, guys. That is the flower. That is the Tillandsia in flower here. Quite a few of our Tillandsias. We've had our Spanish moss flowering. A lot of them have been flowering. We had the Cacticola flowering for weeks on end. But this is just the first time to flower for us with this one. It's a lovely lilac, beautiful little bloom. And that's the bud as well. And as I say, Tillandsias, commonly known as the air plants, are very easy plants to grow as long as you can give them plenty of moisture. There's another big bud coming up on that one. We live in Ireland. There's a lot of high humidity. This is in our kitchen as well. And they're sort of semi-shaded at this time of year. The sun sort of misses them a little bit, but they get plenty of light. And as I say, thoroughly soak them every day with rainwater, so they get plenty of water. And I also feed them once a month with a special Tillandsia fertiliser too, which also helps with the flowering. They take the moisture and nutrients from the air. So that's the kitchen. And now I'm going to take you, let's just show you, this is one of our Ceropagias, Neil Alters as well. That's growing wild. Look at that, it's crazy. So that's the kitchen. Now I'm going to take you into the living room. Now this is our living room window, and we have a selection of a few different types of houseplants here. We have in the window here the very big tall one, the very big vine-like ones. We have a Philodendron that Hans is going to be pruning back and taking cuttings of, which is this beautiful red veined variety here. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at that, guys. And it is huge, and it's growing right along the rail. As you know, we don't have any curtains in our house because the plants offer the curtains for us, and we don't want to block out any more light. We are crazy. But look at the lovely red stems on it. It's gorgeous. But Hans is going to trim this back, and he's going to be making a video when he does that, so it's going to be pretty interesting to see. But it's a lovely, lovely, healthy big plant. And so also that's going to be repotted too. And this is also another philodendron as well. There's two of them. These are what Hans brought over from Sweden. And he brought these beautiful big plants all the way over when he lived in Sweden to Ireland. But they've grown very large over the past couple of years. So they're going to need a pruning. And this here, a lot of people think this is a Hoya, how it looks, but it's actually a Stephanotis. And Stephanotis grandiflora, beautiful here. It's going into a lovely big vine, and that's where the plant starts, down there in that big pot. And it has beautiful, the most amazing jasmine-like scented flowers on it. And I'm happy to say it's coming into bud. So this window is north, more or less north facing. It does get a bit of sun in the mornings and of an evening in the summer, but it is full of this particular Stephanotis here, Stephanotis Floribunda it is called, and Floribunda meaning a bundle of flowers. So it's Stephanotis Floribunda. I must make sure I say the name right there. And look at the beautiful flat buds there forming on it. And as I say, this beautiful plant is a lovely vine, and it grows the most beautiful bunches of really gorgeous scented jasmine-like flowers on it. And here we have a lovely, this is actually a cactus. It's an epiphytic cactus, Selenicerius chrysocardium. It also comes under the category of Epiphyllum chrysocardium. And sometimes it's even Marneria chrysocardium, but it's most commonly down as either Selenicerius chrysocardium or Epiphyllum chrysocardium, and this is one of the ones that has beautiful flowers. It's not flowered for us yet, but the actual plant itself is just gorgeous. When people come to visit us, they automatically just assume that it's a fern, but it's not. It is actually 100% cactus, epiphytic cactus, and it just looks fern-like. But this is 100% cactus, and we keep this well watered at this time of year. As I say, it gets a little bit of sun in the mornings, and it seems to be growing remarkable. When we got this from a nursery when we went to Berlin. We actually bought it there and brought it back on the plane. That was just a cutting like that, and this is how much it has grown over the past year or so. It is just loving that position in the window. And here we have some absolutely beautiful streptocarpuses in the most incredible of flower. They've been flowering for weeks and weeks. I'm just going to turn it around so you can see it here. Look at that, guys. Isn't it just sensational? It's just abundance of blooms. Beautiful. This is the Streptocarpus polka dot purple, and it is really, really, really beautiful. So many gorgeous flowers. And this one here is the Streptocarpus titania. And that is beautiful as well. Look at them beautiful blooms, guys. They're loving this window here. Really are gorgeous. And this is our fern. This is a amazing fern here. This one is commonly known as the rabbit's foot fern, and he's going wild there. Look at that. It is absolutely beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful fern. And it's actually sort of taken sort of root in the pot. These are a sort of like aerial type of roots as such. We do spray this really well with water, keep this fern lovely, well moisture as well. It is just so beautiful. We have another one in the kitchen as well, which I showed you earlier. But look at them roots, guys. Commonly known as the rabbit's foot for obvious reasons. It is just so beautiful. It is growing remarkable. And here we have a little baby African violet, St. Paulia. These are all cuttings. Some more little babies there taken. Another St. Paulia, African violet there, blooming beautiful there in flower. And some more cuttings. Hans is propagating there, some begonias. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? And here, this beautiful, another African violet here, St. Paulia. Let's get you another look at that beautiful bundle of pink flowers there. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. That's the whole tour of the upstairs and downstairs. And as I say, do check out the other two videos, the polytunnel and the yard and the little greenhouse as well, if you haven't seen them other videos. And guys, if you want to know a little bit more about how to grow cacti and succulents, do check out my website, desertplantsofavalon.com. And I want to send you loads of love, heaps of happiness, and tons of flower, plant, cactus and houseplant power from across the Emerald Isle. And until the next video, sending you all flower power. Bye.